In the co-main event, this is a flyweight title fight. And already, you know, my channel trends like the UFC, obviously not on the same level, but the UFC is looking at this fight and saying this might be the best fight on the card. I mean, not might, it most definitely, at least probably is. I mean, with Alexandre Pantoja, the current champ, 30-5, he looks unstoppable from Brazil, right? We got what, two or three Brazilian champions right now, taking on the up and comer from Myanmar. You know him, Joshua Van. He's just run through the division to get all the way to the number one contender spot. He's 15-2. But is it too early for Joshua Van? That's my only question going into this huge pick. Is it too early for Joshua Van? Is he too young or can he shock the world? Because to me, it would be a surprise. No question about it. That doesn't mean I'm not picking him, but I think a lot of people will be surprised if he can pull it out. So let's jump into this pick right now. In the flyweight division, for the flyweight division title and your co-main event at UFC 323, you got Alexandre Pantoja, your current champion, taking on up-and-comer top contender Joshua Van. And people are highly excited about this fight, to say the least, because what can Joshua Van do, right? We know Pantoja is dominant. Can Van come in here and pull off the upset? Pantoja, 30-5 Brazilian. Van, 15-2 from Myanmar. Both guys stand 5'5". Big age difference. Pantoja, 35. So the question is he slowing down yet? Not quite. Van really young at 24. Pantoja, 3-inch reach advantage. Both guys stand right-handed. Now Van is much more active on the feet, at least against other competition, right? 8.9 significant strikes per minute, 4.4 for Pantoja, which is about the UFC average. But Pantoja lands like one takedown per round. And that could be a problem for Van, despite the 81% takedown defense, which is really good. Now, Pantoja has been on a tremendous win streak, hasn't lost since he lost to Askar Askarov back in 2020. Since then, he's run off about 8 wins. Most recently against Kai Kara France by submission due to rear. Beat Kaya Sakura the same way, right? Round 3 and then round 2 before that. Beat Steve Erceg by decision. Brandon Royval decision. And he's doing it with takedowns. In the last 4 fights, he's had 23 takedowns to 1. And when you got a takedown game like that, it's hard for anyone to beat you. Now, who is Van faced, right? He's beat Brandon Royval by decision, so they both got decision wins over Royval. Royval outstruck Pantoja, and he outstruck Van, but he got the loss. It's 215 to 204, so very exciting fight. Van beat Bruno Silva, tough competitor, by third round KO, led by nearly 50 significant strikes, 125 to 76. So those are the last 2 fights. He's on the rise, and he's the top contender in the division, but is he on the level of Pantoja? Not quite. I'm not ready to pass up on Pantoja yet, although I'm very intrigued by this fight because it's going to answer a lot of questions in terms of Joshua Van. But when Brandon Royval is outstriking you and you land no takedowns, you still get the win. I mean, it's a close fight, right? You're going round by round. Both guys are landing nearly 70 significant strikes per round, so Van's landing, but he's taken too. Against Pantoja, that's not going to work because Pantoja is going to go in and try to land takedowns. Now, Ray Soraya landed 4 takedowns against Joshua Van, but the activity for Joshua Van got him the win. It won't get him the win here because Pantoja will dominate the ground game. That's a story of the fight to me. And Pantoja will keep the belt. Don't know if it'll be by decision or submission. That part will be interesting. We're going to find out a lot about Joshua Van in this fight, but he's not winning this one in my opinion. Pantoja wins, retains the belt to be the 31-5 flyweight division for the title at UFC 323. Yeah, you know, they say timing is everything. Timing is everything, and I don't think this is the right time for Joshua Van. I do think he will be a champ, though. The guy is young. But Pantoja, who's just left the prime window of age, what is he, 35, 34, something like that? he's still fighting at a prime level. Like he's in the prime. He's not slowing down yet. He's got another 2 years before that starts to happen. I just don't think this is the right time for Joshua Van. That's why it's a tough fight because sometimes the guys get up there, they don't win the title, then they got to fight a 4 or 5 contender, then they get beat, and now you're in muddy waters. Now you got to win 2 to get back. So, hopefully it doesn't happen to Joshua Van. We'll see. Uh, and then in this next fight is crucial too with Merab. If he wins, will he ever move up? I don't know. But right now is not the time for Joshua Van, in my opinion. And now, we've been wrong before. Could be wrong again. We'll see.